This is Sports Drive.
Welcome back into Sports Drive. Once again, I'm your host, Preston Moore. Now, I mentioned earlier in the show, there's a lot of great things going on in between now and before that fall sports season gets started here in just about a month and a half or so, or less. But in between then and now, lots of great things going on. One of those being the 2024 Buffalo Club Golf Classic. Amongst other things, joining me to talk about that right now is West Texas A&M men's golf head coach Axel Ochoa. Coach Ochoa, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to have you on the show. Excited to talk a little bit of WT golf. I want to talk about the season that you just had, which was absolutely spectacular. But before we do that, I do want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about this upcoming event that you guys are putting on, the Buffalo Club Golf Classic. For any of our viewers who don't know or maybe unfamiliar, would you like to explain a little bit about what this is?
Yeah, so basically it's a golf tournament that we host every year. All the funds that we raise in that tournament go to, to basically pay for our athletic scholarships. So it's not just for golf, but for every sport. So yeah, it's a big fundraiser, and it's also a really good time. People usually have a really good time. They get to know some of our players. They get to play with some of the golfers at WT. So it's a great day.
Absolutely, and that's coming up on August 16th. Registration is open now for that event. Coach, I want to talk a little bit, though, about the season that you just had. Really, really great season, obviously. A lot of talk has been said about Wyatt Province, obviously, winning the individual national championship, an astounding achievement. But also, as a team, you guys had a spectacular showing all season long and played well at nationals as well.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like in the regular season we didn't play that well, but we definitely had a really good postseason, so I was really, really happy about that. Yeah, it's also a really young team, so most of the guys are coming back, so I feel like we should be able to have another good season, this upcoming one.
Yeah, you mentioned that young team. What do you think is the value of having a young team? Because you mentioned, maybe the play in the regular season maybe wasn't up to your standards, but that being said, when it's a young team still making it to the semifinals at nationals, that has to bode well for the future, especially when most of them are returning.
Yeah, for sure. And, one of the things that I really liked about the way we play in the postseason, and also, I mean, something that I see in a few of the guys is the fact that the bigger the event, the more the pressure, the better they perform, which is something that it's not something that you can teach really. So I was really pleased, seeing that.
How do you think going forward with a young team, with the guys that are returning, how do you think going forward you build off of that? Because you know that they can show up in the big moments now. How do you make sure that they show up in the regular season just as much?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge. It's definitely something that we would have to talk about, and I feel like maybe having a better practice on a day-to-day basis would help us achieve that. But no, I'm super excited for that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Ochoa, we really appreciate you coming on the show, talking a little bit about the golf team. We're very excited for this next season of men's golf. We know that it's a little bit of a ways away right now, but that being said, you mentioned young team, excited to see the future of WT golf. And once again, we're excited for the Buffalo Club Golf Classic coming up next month. Coach, really appreciate you coming on the show once again.
Okay, thank you. You guys have a good one.
Absolutely. We'll be right back with more Sports Drive right after this break.